back, yes, this afternoon. Some great games on, and none better than the side that's come back into a little bit of form again. This is a chance for them to show just how good they are up against the competition's measuring stick. The Anarchy Roos out at Footrot Flats, they take on the Bannockburn Tigers, and, well, tell me I'm silly, Dale, but I reckon Anarchy might have a show.
Well, I suppose anything's...
Well, at least you can tell me I was silly, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's one thing. I suppose you're right there. But look, anything's possible in the game of football, and who knows what the weather's going to do this afternoon. So it could also have a bearing on it. We know that Anarchy play a pretty short sort of game. I'm not too sure they've changed their game plan from last year. They're a very tough side. They like to work the ball in close, and that probably won't suit Bannockburn because they've got a lot of young players in that side, so we'd love to get the ball out and run. I think Bannockburn's strength though this year has been that they've been able to kick a number of goals, but they've had 10 or 11 goal kickers doing that, so they've got a number of options through to their forward line. Their running players are kicking goals, the blokes that are resting on the ball are kicking goals. Nayland's doing really well at full forward. He's a good replacement for Malane Grant. Eddie's come into the side and played at centre half forward last week. He's moving well. Fatula's playing some good football, so they've got a number of players that are recognised footballers, and I haven't even mentioned Riccardi yet, but I've just done that now, Dick. So look, they're a great combination out there at Bannockburn, and the expectation would be that for me that they would win, but again they wouldn't want to sit back and take Anarchy lightly because Gillett and Sluggett are two goal kickers. If they can take them out of the contest, that's when I think that Anarchy will struggle. So if they can limit those two blokes with the ball in their hand, I think Bannockburn will win the game.
Jake, Anarchy, another ground very tough to play on sometimes, particularly when it gets a little bit cold and wet. You give them any chance at all?
No, in a word, no. I think Bannockburn will be far too good. They've been the form side of the competition to start with, and I think they'll continue their run today, and they'll win by at least 10 goals, I reckon.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, now Winchelsea and Thompson. Now Winchelsea are playing at home, the Blues, down at the Winchelsea Oval, and they take on the Tommy Tigers, who will be absolutely reeling from getting their party spoilt last week in the unfurling of their flag. It's probably a good game for Thompson to come back and exact a little bit of revenge, Dale.
I think that's what they'll be trying to do right from the very start, Dick, and I would think that this game will probably be a bit of a blowout. As much as I'd like to see Winchelsea, they were very good in their first game against Geelong West. Anarchy was a different proposition for them last week, and this will be a different combination again because they'll have a few blokes that are up tools. They've got some great goal-kicking forwards, and Jackson McLeod, he's likely to kick another bag full. They gave him plenty of room last week, I admit. I'd like to see players like Costello and Wallace get a little bit closer to goal so that when they do take those marks across half forward, they can kick goals, because especially Costello, he kicks the ball a long way. So they've got some great options up forward. Their defence was pretty good. They've got a couple of blokes playing in their defensive end now, which bring the ball out very long. Vaughan's one of them, kicks the ball nicely, as Wally said here last Saturday morning. Good footballer, they can move the ball well. Thompson would be far too strong.
Too strong, Thompson, Jake?
Winchelsea were looking to do pretty well. I think it's their first home game for the year, and obviously they've got plenty of new recruits, but yeah, as Dale said, I think Thompson, they'll be absolutely seething from last week, and they should bounce back, and I think they'd win pretty comfortably today.
All the footy fixers tell us that Inverleigh are home to host the Belmont Lions. Unfortunately, Inverleigh ground is not up to scratch as yet, and unfortunately for Inverleigh, when they're desperate for a win, they have to travel into the Belmont Resort, or the Winter Resort, against the Belmont Lions, who have finally hit some form again. Jake, Inverleigh would be absolutely regretting the fact they couldn't play them at home.
Oh, definitely. Belmont's one of those sides that they usually just step it up a notch at home, and I think they'll do that again this week today, but yeah, I don't really give Inverleigh much chance.
Don't give any chance at all?
Nah, unfortunately for them, no.
Any hope Inverleigh, Dale?
Look, a young side, Dick. I think they're going to take that process again. They got to a stage where they were very, very competitive. They need to get a few players in that range from 23 to 25, I think, and if they can get a few of those players in there, then that'll help them out. But they're a very young side. Look, they won't, as I said, young kids give you everything in a game of football, but just the size of the ground with the size of the players they're going to go in against, I would expect that guys like Forbes and Murphy would probably kick goals again. They've got other players up there with Williams as well, as just a bloke that can float forward or back. So, yeah, look, at home, Belmont Lions far too strong.
Indeed. Well, out at the Devil's Playground, the Cryer Footy Club, they're desperate for a win. They've had a very ordinary start to the season. A lot of people expected a lot better things from them, and they take on the boys travelling down from the Duck Pond, Werribee Centrals, who have been an absolute powerhouse in local football over many years and struggling over the last couple of years. They knocked off Inverleigh last week, and they got off to finally a good start for the year. Cryer and Werribee Centrals, I'll start with you, Jake. I think that this will be a lot closer than a lot of people think.
This could be a pretty good match today, actually. I've just looking and thinking about it now. Werribee obviously had a win last week, and Cryer, obviously, as you said, they're definitely not where they'd like to be at this stage. But Cryer at home, Ricky O'Toole and the like, they'll be absolutely dying for a win, and I think they'll get the job done today, but not without a fight from Werribee, because as you said, they're this is one of their years where they might actually have a crack at finals. So, but yeah, as I said, Karaya should win this one.
A couple of years ago, Dale, these sides probably playing in finals, and all of a sudden they're languishing down near the bottom of the ladder. Do you give Karaya any chance at all? Because you're not really a big rap for them at the moment.
Oh, I'm not a rap. I just think they're going to take time to get some of those players to come back into their side. Like Billy Nichols is still not playing. I see Ferguson came back in last week, and Anderson was another good inclusion. They're both their better players, but they wouldn't have done a lot of pre-season, I would have think, because they had commitments elsewhere. I just think that their confidence for the Karaya side will be down, and until they can actually strike a win, I think it's going to be very hard for them. And I think Werribee coming off a strong win last week, as I know they've got goal kickers up forward in for Stuke, who can kick goals. As you said, Kitchen early got 4 last week, and he's a bloke that you're really going to have to watch out. Hardingham and Stewart in the ruck combination there, or going against each other, will be a great battle to go and see. I've got a bit of a liking still for the Travellers here. I suppose Werribee Centrals that will be a bit too strong, and as I said, confidence is a long way about going about winning football, and I just don't know whether Karaya are playing with any confidence at the present time. And as it stands now, Dick, they could be 3-0 now. They've then got to go to Belmont Lions and Belpost till the week after, so they could be 5-0. And to have that heard of for Karaya over the last couple of years, you would have knocked yourself on the head.
Well, there you have it, a great round of football on this afternoon in Geelong. Don't forget the match of the round on 94.7 The Pulse is the East Geelong Eagles up against the Belpost Hill Football Club. It's out at the Ring Road Recreation Reserve, the Panthers' home ground, so that'll be a fantastic game, so tune in for that. A little bit of controversy in the paper early this week, guys, about someone jumping on the umpire's back. I can tell you it wasn't me, because the umpire's growth has not been stunted in any way. But that made a bit of news, Dale.
Yes, well, all reports were, Dick, that it was probably a few more than that, but it's amazing what you can hear in a hotel on a Sunday morning about 10 o'clock. So, look, it's one of those things that happens in football, I suppose, and you don't like to see people jumping the fence. If at all it did happen, it's only rumoured at this stage. There's an investigation going on, I think. So, look, people should have, well, people in the crowd should have more sense. If they're going to get involved in the game, get out and play the game rather than do something stupid like that.
They tell me that the fellow that they jumped on top of, which was the goal umpire, was an ex-army martial arts instructor. So the guy was probably lucky, Jake, that he didn't react and just basically said, "Would you please go away?" Yeah,
well, if that's the case, then geez, he's lucky to be walking away from that one. But yeah, not much to say on that issue. It's obviously not good if it's happened, but as you said, it's only rumour at this stage, and let's hope for everyone's sake that it isn't true.
That's exactly right. We don't want that thing happening in local footy. You can't touch the umpire, as we all know from experience, being Collingwood supporters. Well, I hope, speaking of that, I hope the Pies do extremely well at the MCG this afternoon, so I'll just bring that up before the show finished. Well, it's hard to believe it's gone again another half an hour very quickly. Thanks again to Ellsworthy's for coming in on board with the LCD television set. Get your entries in. Commodore Fiend dinner for 2 every Saturday drawn. It'll be fantastic. Dale, you have a fantastic afternoon.
Yes, and if Ellsworthy would like just someone to pipe them up every week, I'm looking for an extra television at home, so it'd be very nice. But,
so am I.
Is that a bit rude or not? But anyway, look, I am looking forward to it, Dick. It should be a good game. We've had some good ones so well. The first one was a bit of blowout, but this one will be an excellent game. East Geelong, they'll be dirty. Belpost Hill on a winning roll.
Jake, have a great afternoon.
Oh, Will, Anzac Day is always one of those days where footballers just seem to step it up a notch, so hopefully today they do that out at the Hill.
Oh, it should be a fantastic game indeed. Once again, folks, have a fantastic Anzac Day, and just remember the solemnity of the day. It's a very important day in our history, and we wish all of our return diggers and soldiers the very, very best day indeed. Thanks for having us at your place. Enjoy your footy. We'll be back again next week. Bye for now.